Welcome to the Hub, where the travel industry is together under one roof. Agents and suppliers collaborating. Man, that's the path to prosperity, if you ask me. I'm Pat Miller, one of the co-hosts here at the Hub, and this is the morning show, a 30-minute positive injection of energy to get your week going in the right direction, to help you make sure that we're doing what we can to grow our businesses together. And today's going to be a whole lot of fun. This will not be a boring show at all because of our guests and the information we have to share, including kind of a recognition, kind of an award for the Hub that Tom is going to share in just one moment. But what's important about this show is that it's interactive. So for those of you that are watching, if you want to be a part of the show, drop into the chat, raise your hand, and we'll bring you on as we sit around and we learn today from our guest, Randy Otts, the Chief Memory Architect of 2Getaway Travel. But before we get to Randy and start learning about how he's driving business even right now, we're going to turn things over to my partner, Tom Brousseau. So, Tom, you've got some breaking news for us. Something good happened to the Hub. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Hey, what do you know? That's fantastic. Yeah, I do. We just were notified that we are going to be included on Business Insider's 2020 list of change makers who are transforming the travel and hospitality industry, which I think is fantastic. They were looking for companies like ours who are adapting, who are pivoting their business model, who are founding new businesses or expanding their operations to, anticipate the changing needs in the travel industry. And we were selected to be on their list, and I think that is just fantastic. Business Insider is very well known and respected, business publication, and I think that is a fantastic honor. I'm really glad that we are given that opportunity.
That's exciting, and hopefully that'll help us get some more agents and suppliers collaborating inside the Hub. Great news. Anything else you want to share before we get rocking and rolling here?
No, I just want to welcome Randy. Randy and I have known each other for a long, long time, and back in our days at Funjet, and now we both are on the retail travel agency side, and I've always really respected you, Randy, and every time that we get together, you always have such great ideas, and you're always approaching your business in a very proactive and a very aggressive way. And, from that standpoint, I think we all have a lot, there's a lot that we can learn. There's a lot that we can collaborate on. So I'm really glad that you're on the morning show today, because, we can always learn from each other, and, there's always opportunities to improve and to collaborate. So, I know that we'll be able to do that today. So welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Pat. I really appreciate it. And yeah, Tom and I, we do go way back. Actually, I remember sitting in front of his desk being interviewed. So when I first came to work at Mark Travel. So it was an interesting interview.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we pushed on, and we've opened up our own agencies and are in the retail world. And, I was when you called me this week and said, hey, would you like to do the morning show? I thought, that's a cool idea, but what am I going to talk about? And one of the things I think that's very, very important, especially in this time, is that we have to establish ourselves as experts. Because so many people out there have been burned by the OTAs. They've been burned by booking their own things online, direct. And I think now is the opportunity that we have, that we need to really shine as experts, and we need to go out in the industry and in our own areas and establish ourselves as experts. And I think a lot of ways that you can do that is through social media. You can do that through the Chamber of Commerce in your area. You can do that through Rotary clubs. You can do that through networking clubs. I mean, I was at a networking event last night, and then, believe it or not, yes, they are getting together, and there was 120 people there networking last night. But you can get out in your area. People are doing that. But it's very, very important to get out, meet people, and let them know that you are the expert in what you do.
Let's talk about that for a sec. How do you balance sharing expertise with working for people for free? How do you balance that? I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to plan your trip if you don't pay me. How do you balance that?
Well, I believe in paying it forward. We don't charge a planning fee. I mean, now if it's a wedding or it's something like that, yeah, we will say, hey, give us a $500 deposit up front. We'll help do the whole thing. But If it's a regular vacation, no. I mean, I don't mind. I will give out free advice, and you know, in return, it comes back tenfold. I mean, it always does.
Yeah, that's a great point of view. One of the things that you've been talking a lot about recently, especially during COVID-19, is you can't look for your business in all the traditional places that we've normally gotten it from. So what are you doing differently right now than you were doing before the virus?
Well, one of the things we're doing is we're looking at other business paths. You know, before we were predominantly music and culinary. We were starting to do some tennis events, and now we're going into the golf industry, and we're going to be doing golf events. And here just recently, one of the things that we ventured off into is we're going to be putting together continuing education retreats for realtors and brokers. And so not only do you get that business from them coming from that, but then you're going to get that incentive business because most brokers do incentivize their realtors. So you're going to pick up that incentive business that way. Through the golf side, you're going to work with golf pros, which is one of the things we're putting together is called Stay, Play, and Experience. And we're doing, the first one is going to be in Cabo. It's going to be December, and we're inviting 12 golf pros to come down. We're working with the CVB, we're working with our DM there, and we're also working with a great resort. And we're bringing in 12 golf pros that's completely complimentary for the golf pro. But in return, what they have to do is they have to promote a group in their country club, which is going to bring a minimum of 12 golfers. So by generating that, you got 12 and 12. I mean, you just created 12 groups real quick.
Yeah. And you're talking about very direct, hey, let's take people on a golf trip. But what was not as direct, are you saying for the realtors, for example, that you take them to a destination and they just do their training off site? That's a little outside the box. Did I hear that right?
You heard that correct. And we work, the first one we're doing it with the Fives in the Playa del Carmen area, simply because they have 3 projects going on. They have 3 different resorts where they're actually selling full ownership. So not only is the realtor going to get continuing education credits, which they have to maintain their license, but they're also going to get a tax write-off because now that vacation is a business trip. So now they get a tax write-off for their business, as well as they're going to learn about selling international real estate. And so by working with these different resorts, you know, some of the resorts do timeshare, some of them do full ownership, some of them do, you know, vacation club. But if you find those ones like the Fives, and there's 3 or 4 different resorts that I've found so far like that, then you partner with them, bring realtors to them. The realtors they have investors. They're going to turn around, they're going to sell property. Negotiate a deal with them, they'll cut you in on the commission of the sale of the property as well. So you can create different revenue streams that aren't just travel revenue streams.
This is some next level stuff. If you've got questions for Randy during this conversation, drop into the chat. We'll bring you on the show. Let's talk about getting the word out about all this stuff, because you're launching multiple products, multiple business lines. Traditionally, it would have been advertising, but the budgets are tight. Maybe they're not around right now. You're out there networking. What else are you doing to spread the word?
Well, the biggest thing that we did, and we started this on June the 4th, we actually flew into Cancun, and we decided right at the end of May that we were not going to just sit around. We were going to show the world that it is safe to travel. So on June the 4th, none of the resorts weren't even open yet. I called Senora Dolores and I said, hey, do you have room at the hotel? And she says, well, we're not really open, but come on down. So I flew down, my wife and I, we flew down. And since June the 4th, we've now been on 12 different trips. And I'm leaving again this Saturday to go back. And we're documenting it with video. And we've started a YouTube channel called Tuesday Travel. And we are actually, you know, we're getting out there on social media, we're getting out there on YouTube, and we're showing the world that it is safe to travel. I bought a little video camera that I can actually strap on my backpack, so I can go through TSA, I can go through security. I've got it on the whole time. And so we video the entire process, and we're showing the world, you know, it's safe.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We'd love to get you some exposure on that. Let's drop some of those links inside the hub so the other agents can see what you're doing, because it sounds It sounds unbelievable. And that's the definition of agents leading the way. What is the feedback from your client base when they say you and your wife out there traveling 12 times since May?
Well, in July, we had a group called Guitars and Summit Bars. It was the 10th anniversary of it. We had 91 people at the Eldorado Seaside Suites. And 3 or 4 of the people came up to me and they said, we were thinking about canceling, but we saw you and your wife traveling, and we said, well, if they can do it, we can do it too. And the group went off without a hitch. We had 1 cancellation on that group, and the only reason that he canceled was because he only has 1 lung. And he said, I can't afford to even take a chance of getting sick. We understand. Then we created an event called the Corona Breakout Party. We did that in August, and the Corona Breakout Party, it was 42 people. And that was we planned that in June, sold 42 people to go for the first week of August. So people are willing to travel. My whole tagline, I guess you could say, is let's create a reason to travel. So we created the Corona Breakout, a big party. I got 2 music artists. We had live music, pool parties every day. And if you create a reason for them to go, they're going to go.
Yeah, and they want to go, right? We know that people want to travel. I'm curious if your cancellation rate for your agency is lower than the average agent. It sounds like it must be.
We only had, in total throughout this whole thing, we had 6 cancellations. Our business hasn't sloughed off. Granted, we're not getting as many new bookings as we would in a normal year, but as far as cancellations, we didn't have to deal with a whole lot of that. We didn't have to do a lot of rebookings. We didn't have to do a lot of cancellations. I'm not out there chasing refunds for clients. We're proactively going after, I got the mowers out here, sorry about that. We're proactively going out there looking for new business, as we speak, and not getting refunds and cancellations.
Well,
I'll pop in here too, if y'all don't mind, because I've been in the same boat. I still have 3 big destination weddings at the end of the year. I'm taking a group to the Hyatt Zilara next week. There's only 18 of us, but my cancellations I've had a total of 25, and all of them have been individual reservations, nothing really with the groups. So because people want to go, no matter what it is, if it's a wedding, if it's, they want to go, and they're not going to be the one that cancels.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's a really good point. When they go, safety in numbers almost, right?
Right.
That they feel more confident. Would you say that your travelers feel more confident, Randy, when they're going as a group?
Yes, as a matter of fact, and it's funny because, Shiner, it's kind of funny because one of the things is that even in the pool, most of the people social distanced unknowingly, because I've got video of people in the pool and they're in clumps with their friends, and they're all like spaced out throughout the swimming pool. It was kind of comical to see, but it happened naturally.
And when was the breakout party?
The breakout party was the first week of August.
First week of August. And did they all come back happy and healthy? Any problems?
No, not a soul. And one lady that was on the trip, she was 58 years old, and I said, "What made you decide to do this?" And she goes, "I saw it on Facebook. A friend showed it to me, and I thought, you know what? This is what I've got to do. I've got to get out and go to this part. This is going to be a fun trip. I've got to go." She came all by herself, didn't know a soul.
Yeah.
And she absolutely had a blast. And now she's come back. She's been on social media, pushing every group that I've got going now. She's promoting it for me.
It's really, really smart to make those group travel experiences like that. Rather than trying to find one person that's going to then organize their own group of 20, creating a reason to go in a unique experience and positioning yourself that way, that's really, really amazing. If you have some questions for Randy, drop into the chat and we can bring them on. You talk about networking. How do you go about networking when you're in these groups? How do you present yourself? How do you talk about it? You've talked about being the expert, but how do you present yourself to other professionals as you try and get the word out?
Well, networking it's communication. It's building a relationship. And like the event that I went to last night, it was in a bar, cocktails being served, hors d'oeuvres. You just go around and you meet, and introduce yourself. You talk to people. You create a relationship although it's what am I trying to say here? A subsurface relationship, but it can become something even more. And, you know, like last night, I've been looking for another continuing education realtor instructor, and I happened to find one last night. And you know, hey, this is what I'm doing. Are you interested in working with me on this? And he was like, you know, for sure, I'm definitely interested in that. And so, you know, I'm going to meet with him later this afternoon, and we're going to put him on a continuing education trip here in December.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great result of networking. How do you position yourself as being different? Is it these group travel experiences, these reasons to travel, as you say, or do you talk about 2Getaway travel in a different way to help you be differentiated from everybody else?
Well, I think the way we're different and the way that some agents, you know, some agencies, it's all about destination weddings. It's all about honeymoons. And there's a lot of those out there. Lori is one of them, and she's very, very good at what she does. Destination weddings is not my gig. I wanted to, you know, my whole purpose when we started 2Getaway Travel was to create 12 annual groups that traveled every year to different destinations so that I could have 12 vacations in a year. That was the whole purpose. So that when I retire, I'm going to have 12 vacations every year, because I'm not going to, you know, my retirement is having these fun parties. And now it's grown into, last year we ended up with 24 events. This year we were on track to have 32 events. We're not going to end up with 32, but thank you, COVID. But we're still gonna have, I think we're gonna have 16 different events. But now 2021, we're gonna hit that 30 mark. And we're gonna create different events, things that I like to do. You know, I like to golf, I like to eat, I like to drink, I like to listen to music. So those are the things we're gonna do. And we're going to get residual regular vacation consulting business off of that, because all those people who travel with us at these events, average person takes 2 vacations a year. And so we're going to get that residual business as well. And so to me, that's just like gravy on the chicken fry.
Which is a great phrase that I've never heard, but I got you right away as soon as you said that. So how can the hub help you, right? Is there a way that we can help you with your ideas and your strategies, help you scale them, help you have 2Getaway travel affiliates all around the country? Like, how can we go big? Because you're on to something. There's no doubt about it. How can we help you?
The one thing that intrigued me about the hub when Tom called me and said, hey, you know, this is something we're thinking about doing. To me, it is a no-brainer. We need something in this industry that gets everybody together and allows us to collaborate. And one of the things in the hub, you know, I'm going to create a page or a group on there, hopefully, that when I have these events, it's events that other agents can sell into. Because, you know, yeah, I know a golf pro, but Tom probably knows a golf pro too. So why not put that group with my group? You know, or maybe I've got some musicians coming down and Lori's got people who like to listen to the same artists that I'm going to have down there. Well, then Lori can sell into that group. You know, so I think that the hub is going to be an amazing tool where we can all help each other. You know, I talked about paying it forward. It's the same thing. I mean, we're not competitors. I don't think of Tom or Tom Collins or Tom Brusso or Lori. They're not competitors. I mean, when we worked for Mark Travel, we used to have owners planning meetings where we would get together with all of our top producing owners, and we would work together and create synergy in the area. It wasn't about, oh, no, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing because you're going to take my customer. It wasn't like that at all. And and I think that's what's neat about the travel industry, is that we do work together, and the hub is going to make that even better.
Yeah, I'll pop in here real quick. Pat, I'm sorry. Hands up. I'll pop in here real quick because I have worked with Randy. Like he did a I think it was a chili.
It was a chili pepper experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had some clients who wanted to go, and so you know, I sold the room with Eldorado Casitas. It was high end. They stayed the whole 7 nights. And then I got the pass from Randy, and he paid me a little commission on it. But that's not the point. The point was these people went, they're still my clients. Randy doesn't try to go out there and go, oh, why don't you come book with me next year? He did not do that. And he would not step over my clients because we care about each other. So that's something that some of the agents probably, I think, need to get over a little bit, is like, you're going to steal my people. They don't belong to you. People get to go where they want to go, is how I look at it. And whoever's giving them, you know, service, they're going to stay put if they're happy. They're not going to go jump ship. So yes, working with Randy is fine. So I think that needs to be put in there.
Yeah, and I agree. And, you know, I think, you know, this is such a key idea because, you know, one of the reasons that people don't branch off, or that people don't, you know, get into some of the things that Randy is talking about today, is that, you know, they don't have the time, they don't have the energy, they don't know how. And in situations like this where Randy and, you know, maybe other hub members have taken the time and, you know, to really work through all the logistics of things and to develop contacts and to have a way to execute these groups in a very effective way, you know, we should all tap into that. And, you always sell what you have passion for, right? If it's something that you're really interested in, and, you know, there may be another hub member out there who does something completely different that, can work for some other hub members. So as we go forward, you know, this combined effort, this collaboration, and I'd love for Randy to be the leader on this, because, you know, some of the things that you're doing, I saw Tom Carnes chimed in on the chat, you know, some of the things that you're doing make so much sense for us. And if we could do it, collaboratively and make those events bigger and better, you know, there's more people there, there's more energy, there's more opportunities, and people really see it as such a viable niche. So I think that would be awesome if we can get that moving on the hub.
It's
Absolutely.
the type of thing we can be uniquely positioned to do, because we could work with, our friend Joel in Vegas and rent out an entire restaurant for one evening, and we sell the seats. Or we go to Tiffany's after hours in Manhattan, or we bring a celebrity in to host a cruise, or those types of things that we can all sell into are those unique experiences. Back to what you were saying, Randy, about being different and having something unique to put in front of people. We can help collaborate on those things because we are going to have the suppliers with us. So, okay, suppliers, what can you do that's interesting enough that we all can sell into? So maybe that's a way we could try and take this to the next level. And with your inspiration and leadership, I'm sure it's something we could get done.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think that looking at it from the supplier point of view, that's something that I think would be beneficial. I mean, when I approached the Los Cabos CVB on putting together this golf program, they were all over it. They said, this is unique. We want to try it and see how it works. So, you know, they're open. They're open to ideas, just like we should be open to new ideas, because we got to get innovative to make ourselves better known in the world as experts. We have to.
Yeah. That's great, and a great idea as well. And I just love the unique approach that you're putting on things. And as we've been talking a lot about getting out there to travel, to show everyone that you can get around the world and you can get out in front of people to inspire your clients. I mean, we've said a lot, show that you should be traveling.
Yes.
Fine. But you're telling us that your bookings stayed. You didn't get the cancellations, in part because you were showing everyone what it's like to go through TSA, what it's like to go into the country. How was Cabo and Puerto Vallarta and some of your trips personally? Did you enjoy them? What did you experience?
Absolutely. The one thing that it opened my eyes, that Mexico is doing a much better job of showing safety than the U.S. is. I mean, I've had my temperature checked more times. I'm never here in the USA, except for when I go to the doctor. But I mean, when you come to the airport, and no matter which city, in Cancun, they have the camera that you walk past. The camera then takes your temperature, and if you've got a temperature, they pull you aside and ask to see your declaration, and you give them the health declaration. Vallarta, they physically take your temperature with a skin gun. Same thing in Cabo. The first time I went to Cabo, I've been to Cabo twice this year already. And the first time they took it with a gun, the second time now they have the camera. So Vallarta, they were still using the gun. I've been to Vallarta now 3 times since June 6th, and we'll be back again in October. But no, we are. See, I'm leaving Saturday. We're going to Cancun again. So we are not sitting around. We are getting out there, and we are creating content, and we are showing everybody, let's go. It's time is whether you got to wear a mask. Hey, if that's what it takes to get on a plane, fine, wear a mask.
Yeah.
Let's get out there and let's travel.
You know, not only thinking outside the box and showing off how it could be done, we can just tell by looking at you, you're having so much fun with this, and it's something we can all aspire to, because at the end of the day, we're running a business, but you're doing it in a way that just looks like it's so fulfilling. So congratulations to you on figuring it out and doing well, and you're inspiring us. And hopefully as the Hub, we can continue this conversation, because organizing these group trips and giving agents the chance to do something super unique sounds like a compelling way to engage our clients.
Create the reason, like they said in the Kevin Costner movie. You build it, they'll come.
Well, Randy Otts, Chief Memory Architect of 2Getaway Travel, thank you so much. And I will echo what Tom Carnes says. I want to be Randy Otts when I grow up. That's the
Thank
truth.
you, Pat. Thank you, Tom. And thank you, Tom Carnes.
It's our pleasure. Thank you, Randy. Before we sign off today, I want to get to Danielle Whitmore, because she's got an announcement about one of our groups, one of our destination groups. So Danielle, can you share the news you were sharing with Tom and I earlier this morning about a new event that's coming?
Yes, so I know that we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but James Taylor, we've been building out the Costa Rica community, and we know that as the destination is opening up a little bit more and more, some new states for arrival into the destination, James is going to start hosting a coffee talk. So the first one's going to be next Wednesday, and he's really looking forward to it. He's looking forward to giving the update on what's happening in the destination, in his company. He's working on having a special guest and gathering the information to share, because it's changing very quickly in that destination. And so this will be really good to keep you all updated as Costa Rica opens. And I'm sure, Randy, as soon as it's open, I'm sure our friend James will be there to welcome you with open arms. I'm guessing you'll be the first one there.
Well, as soon as it opens up, I'm going, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I'll let James give a little preview of next Wednesday. So make sure to tell everyone, and find some Costa Rica coffee, because we are going to have coffee. I've already picked mine. And James has a special brewing technique I think he's going to show us too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, Costa Ricans, coffee and everything next. I mean, we need to have our coffee, and we're gonna learn how to do the coffee a little bit Costa Rican style. Talk about updates of what's going on in our country as we open up. We're coming up for a 20th state open next October. And I'm seeing positive news that we're gonna have more and more destinations, areas open in the U.S. Randy, I'm pushing for Texas, so hopefully we'll be there soon.
Well, it sounds great, James. We can't wait to see the event, see how you brew the coffee, and hear more about how things are opening up there. And you know, when we came into the show this morning, I just felt kind of weighted down, like I want this thing to be over. When is it going to get back to normal? And then you talk to someone like James that's going to have this really cool coffee event. We're going to hear about Costa Rica and how exciting it is. And then you talk to Randy, who's doing this and doing that. And, hey, I came up with this idea and my life is better than yours. And he's got all this excitement and energy. It's like, we're going to be okay. We can do this. So That's what the morning show is all about. So thank you all for joining us this morning. That's what we're supposed to be doing, a little bit of positivity into your life. And that's the morning show for September 17th. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to Randy and to James, Danielle, and Tom for coming on the show this week. And we will see you next week here on The Hub.